we are back with our part 2 of the modeling tutorial of our watch. I just took a 15-minute break. My throat seems to be a lot better now. So, before we do the leather, I just want to clear up a few things before I forget this part. So I'm going to add some bevels to these parts over here, and I probably start organizing things so that they don't get out of hand. So this will be our watch face, and what is this part? This is our crown, and here these will be our minute. What can we call these? We'll call these face. No, let's call this face. We'll call this watch base. So let's be our watch face, and then these will be our arms. No, we'll call this minutes. I don't know what to call this, guys. Let's call it my train of thought is gone. Let's call it time. Just call it that. And now here, what I wanted to do was add some, what is it called? Some bevels to these things so that we have some nice reflections going. And here we can just go and select these lines over here and select these lines. Select these lines here on the sides, like so. And then here I can go and bevel this. And nope, let's go 0.001. I think that's fine for a bevel, so I'll copy that. And then for that's actually might be a bit too small for me. Let's go and undo that. Where's this thing? There. Let's undo that. Undo. Let's bevel that again. Let's just make sure this thing pops up. And then let's go and go 0.02. So maybe like that. And then here, I'll go and so let's organize this even more. This will be our hours, and then this will be our, what is this? It's not actually correct, but just so I can have a let's call this seconds. It's not actually hours, minutes, and seconds, but just so I can have an idea of big, smaller, and smallest. Just so I can have a bit of organization going on here. Now here I'll go and select these lines again. It's really easy if you just select all the lines and then deselect the bottom ones. If I go into this view here, I could probably just deselect these, like so. And then here I can go and bevel it, and then just paste in the bevel. And then I'll do the same for our seconds. Once again, not actually our seconds, but you know, I'm just doing it for the sake of naming. So here I want to select these, deselect these bottom ones, and then add in a bevel again, and then paste it. So now all our things have some nice bevels. That's probably too beveled. I can actually edit this right now. Yes, so let's go 0.15. And now our reflections will come out quite nicely in the end. Okay. Now we can get to our leather part. Now this part's a bit tricky. You can't actually see the side here. Sometimes you'll have a hole going through here. But because I'm lazy, I'm not going to do the hole. You can copy the same concept that I did over here to create your hole. If you want one over here, let's just look at this over there. Copy the same concept on your leather part. I'm not going to go and create that because that just sounds like effort. So I'm going to try and create this part, and I'll probably also create these rigid pieces in the inside as well, just so that we have some nice detail going on there. So I'll create a cube. This will be our leather strap. I think it's called a strap. So now we have something to call it. So it'll be our strap. So we'll go and make it editable. Just going to scale this out until it sort of fits, like so. I'll push this face outwards, like so. And I think that looks about right, so I'm just going to scale this out like that. Nope, like that. That. It should be a bit more straight, but you know, told myself I wouldn't be a perfectionist, so I'm not going to go and dwell over things like that. Push this out like that. And this one does have a bit of a curve, but I don't think I'm going to go through. I'm not going to model in the curve. I think I'll just go and bend it all in the end, just to make life easier. I'm not going to go and model a curved shape thing. Here I can just push this out. I don't actually know the length since we don't have much reference to work off of. So I'll just make it a completely square piece and just assume that there's a buckle at the end. We're not going to go with any curviness on the sides here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see, we will add in subdivisions here. Let's go symmetry, add in subdivisions, let's just see again, there, and then we'll add in one in the middle. Let's just go there, 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 like so. And I want to be very careful with this. Probably add some subdivisions over here as well. So if I go back to my symmetry, that's weird. Deselect, there we go. Something like that. Now if I smooth this, we'll take a look at what our smoothing looks like. Things are starting to look very weird right now. So here I'm going to go and add in symmetrical cuts over here. Let's take a look. This end part is too square. So what we can do is just solo this. Let's see. If I can somehow, let's get rid of these, and let's also get rid of these. We'll select these and then get rid of those, and probably scale this in like so. Let's take a look again, and we want another loop here. Yeah, that's on like so. Take another look. So I'll probably end up having to, let's go and make this 0, make this 0, and then see what happens if I optimize it. Do they all become one line or not? They do! Okay. So now if I smooth this out, it should be a nice round shape. It's not. It's a fairly round shape. I think, where's our issue coming in here? Let's see, let's take these lines, let's just push them in. I'm trying to get a rounded shape here and it's not working. I remember doing it before though, so we'll see. Take a point here just to make sure there's nothing weird going on. Take a look on the inside, so everything is acting the way it should, and this should be round, and it's not. But I guess it's fine. Let's just push these back. And we do have an end gone there, I know. I'm not going to go and fix that because I feel like that will be a bit time consuming. So I'm just going to leave the end gone there for now. And that's kind of the shape we're getting. Yeah, there's a bit more detail and a bit more, can I say, accuracy in terms of that, but we're not going to go through, we're not going to go that intense on the detail. Here, what I do want to do here is we want to add in a loop somewhere here, probably. I think that's the right distance. somewhere there, and we want to go and just taking a look at how I want to approach this. Guess that's okay, and maybe let's add in a loop. Sorry, let's add in a loop here, like so, and I could probably add in another one there. So now if I go and select these faces, and here as well, and then here as well. And then if I go and push these down, I'll do the other side as well. Trying to do things symmetrically can get time consuming, so I'm trying to be conscious of that. And this doesn't feel very symmetrical to me. I know this end here is different to that end, but okay, so if I scale these in, we should start sort of getting that sort of look over there, like that. So it's going to scale it in slightly more, like that. Don't like how this is inverted, it's bugging me. We do want a line here. Let's go turn off symmetry. We'll go 50%, and then here we'll go 50% again. That is incorrect. My bad. I selected the wrong line. There. Cool. So now if I go and scale this in, is my camera the wrong way around? It is. Okay, that's why. Okay, so now if I go and solo this again, sorry. Solo. Now we should get that smoothing that I was looking for. Cool. Now we'll go and add in that loop at 50%. We'll add in a loop at 50% there. And we'll probably add in there and there as well. Now you can see our subdivisions is going to start racking up quite a bit, so we want to be a bit careful here. But here if I go and select these and these as well, and we'll do the same on this side as well. I'm not going to focus on that end of the part because I'll probably just cut in half in the end and make it symmetrical anyways, so I'm not going to worry too much about that end. Deselect these ones actually, and maybe deselect these ones as well. And then I'm just going to push, I can select these as well, push this up. Just take a better view of this. That. So now you see we're kind of getting this bridge here, but here it's a lot more smooth, so I have too many lines going on in mine. But here I'm just going to push this up like that, be up like that, and take another look. No, let's do this up more, and then up like that. And then here I can probably help this curve go up like so. Let's push this up and then push this up as well, so you get a bit more of a curve. Like so. It's not perfect. It's actually completely shit, but anyways. I don't want to spend too much time worrying about this part here. This part is not going well, so I'm not sure what to do here. Maybe if I get rid of a few lines just to help this thing smooth out a bit more. Maybe I should get rid of this line instead. Like that. And if I could maybe actually let's take these lines down. And here we'll actually go and make sure this is all even as well. Sorry, get these, get there, and just push these up slightly. Take a look. Now it's looking a bit better. Like so. Cool, so these I feel need to be pushed in a bit, so I'm just going to go and scale these in slightly. That. I'm going to take these and scale these in slightly as well. That. And these ridges here, these rigid pieces inside here, I'll show you how to do that now. So these rope little pieces that go inside there, the way I'll go about it is I will go and create a cycloid, and then I'll go and zoom out. We'll do the shaping first and then just scale it down later. So we'll go and do ellipsoid, that word, I'll just do that one. And then we'll go here 25, 25, and then he'll just reduce this, actually increase, I think. Yeah, so we'll increase this. And I don't know how many revolutions these things have, but we'll just go probably around 8. We'll try and get around 8-ish. Something like that. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, perfect. 8. So now we can just go and scale this down, scale it down, 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 like that. If you go and put this inside a sweep nub, where is this thing? Sweep nub, and then we go in here and put in a inside. We can go 1. We can go 0.1, 0, 5. Swap those around. 0. That looks weird. Kind of cool, actually. Here, if I increase these subdivisions, things should start looking a bit more normal. And I'm actually very confused with what I'm doing right now, so let me just try and figure this out. Okay, so for some reason it only works if you use a circle, from what I've tested. So I'm going to add in a circle in here, and then I'll drop this down to 1 radius. Let's go 0.1. And let's go 0, 5. 0, 1. Just put that on top, and still not working, so I'm just gonna scale this out. now we're kind of getting what I was looking for, so I'll just drop this down again, and then here we'll go and go end rotation 720. Now we're getting that curve, and here you can obviously rotate it as much as you want, but I'm gonna leave it like this. And then we'll take a look at our subdivisions. Way too many subdivisions going on over there. Let me try and... let's actually not try that. Let's take a look at what's affecting these subdivisions. So I think that was it. So if I go here, uniform, drop that down to 0. Everything should be cleaned up on that side. And I'm going to try and probably position this so that we can sort of get an idea of how many subdivisions we'll need and stuff like that. So I'm going to position that way. I'll rotate it this way. Then I'll go and scale this down like so. Like that. So I'll be sitting in here, something like this. If I can get this coordinates to scale down. Like so. So that's kind of the idea of how I'll be sitting. So if we sit far away, you can see that the subdivision is actually getting quite intense. So we want to reduce that as much as possible. Not sure if we can reduce this anymore because of the type that we're using. If I go and click none, oh, there we go. Yeah, so on none, we've actually reduced subdivisions as much as we can. And then I think what I will do is change the spec to 1 and then see how we can shape this thing. So the scale is down this way. We will go and make this editable. And yeah, those points seem fine. And then we will go and scale this down like so. And we can also scale this down like so. Let's take a look. Yeah. And let's go and scale this one this way, in like so. Push this out like that. And if you want, you can go and add in holes and stuff, but that seems very detailed to me. Not too sure if I want to go through that painful process. So let me just add some lines here and see what this looks like. That looks a bit better, I think. I kind of like the way it looks here, so I'm going to leave that in actually. I'm not going to try and fix that up. I'm going to add some lines here. And then if I go and clone this thing down, back's getting sore. If I go and clone this thing down linear, 0, not that way, 0.2, 0.4, 0.5. If I go and increase these like so, there we go. Now we're getting our thing. We're going to click render instances. We're going to so untick that actually. Let's go and make an instance of the whole thing itself. And then the instance, we will just pop that on the other side like so. There's our very basic leather piece. I kind of want this thing to go down a bit here, like that. Give it a bit of space, like that. Cool. There's too many lines going on over here. I think I need to decrease this down to 2. I think I need to make this thing actually sit where it's meant to, in the center, like that. Let's go and copy that, and here I'll go paste it there. Cool. So that's our basic idea of how you can make a strap. Like I said, you can get very complicated, create a buckle and all that weird stuff going on there. But that takes some time, and that's the reason why I'm not going to go and do that in this tutorial. So I think what I'll do is I will create a line in the middle here, just so I have a bit of symmetry here. I'll just go and make sure that this point here is centered, like so. Then I'll go and delete all these points here. I'll take this thing, duplicate it. I could just go here, symmetry, and pick the right plane, and then boom. Now everything should be fairly symmetrical, looking dandy. I think if you go and add in a bend deformer inside here, it should bend the whole thing. That looks weird. Let me go and rotate this way. I'm probably making a mistake doing this, and I'll probably regret it right now. 90, no, 90. Let's try and get the size to go down. No, I don't think that's gonna work. But that's our strap. You get the idea. And here we can go and click symmetry. No, we'll go and put this inside a new null, and we'll do that. And then we'll go symmetry, and then we'll pick our right axis over here. So that's the basic idea of how to make a watch like this. Like I said at the start, I'm not going to do the buckle part, which is this part, because that takes some time to get right. I can go and do a 5-episode tutorial if it's requested, but I don't really get any requests to do tutorials. Sort of just spontaneously do them. So this is my version of this. So we can start texturing now. I think this is too high in terms of polygons. I'll just keep it like that. yeah, I think we should get down to texturing now. So I'm going to open up the live viewer, bring in an HDRI for lighting. Neck is so sore right now. And I will bring in this one, like so. First thing I'll do is create a specular material for the glass, just so we can see inside there. And now into my render settings, path tracing, 2000, 100 GI clamp, and here we'll go 2.2, natural, 0, and linear. There we go. All right, you can see it's quite slow, so I'm going to texture this in parts just so that things are quite snappy. Just giving it this, I think. So what I actually want to do is I want to take this face here. I want to select these faces. I think I'll go and deselect this row. Go select, set selection. Then I'll create a new material. This will be our face. Just pop that cubic. And then we'll put our selection in there. And then we'll create a new material. This will be our metal. What color do we want to go for? We'll go for that goldish color. This is more of a rose gold, but I'll go for normal gold. Cool. And we only need gold. We'll go for silver maybe as well, and then the leather. Okay, so we'll start off with the watch base. Here we can get our gold color going. So I'm going to go here and I'll just stop this render while I import all my gold textures. Over here, my throat is getting really sore. Metal gold, like so. Boom. Paste in the normal. And here I'll go with a TIFF version, just because you might get up close and you want to see those details. I want to see the details of a normal map, so I'm going with a TIFF version instead of a normal JPEG. And then here I'll put in my glossy as well. So, cool. We will change our index to 8, and now we're getting this very shiny, metal-y kind of look. And we'll apply this to our watch base and go cubic. And I'll hit render. It's not working. Let's go and apply it to here. There we go. I want a bit of a shiny metal, so I'm actually going to turn off this roughness. And here I'm going to take a look at the scaling of this texture on this model. So I'm going to turn up my normal map to 15. Now you can see that the scale of our textures and stuff are way too big. So I'm going to go into my UV transform. I'll go 0.1. And now that's around the right scale for our texture, maybe 0.05. I want some nice detail. So I think that's the right size. I'll actually drop it even more. 0.1. Oh, that's around the right size. So now I'm just going to copy this. Actually, reduce this down to... We'll reduce it down to 1, copy it, then we can change this back up to like 5. I'll paste it in my diffuse, pop in our diffuse. So now we have our scaling and stuff copied. We don't have to redo that for every single texture path. We can just bring them back in like so. Boom, like that. Cool. And the reason why I'm scaling it inside here instead of there is because I want everything to be 100% on here, and then I won't really have any issues with well, I guess it only really matters if you have different types of texture image mapping. Let's say you have if you go for flat or cylindrical, if you have a texture and you want to map it onto a side, and then the scaling and stuff can really get messed up there. So I scale it inside of here, and then I change it to box as my projection. So that means if I go and change this to cylindrical, if I change this to cylindrical, my normal and bump maps will stay in the same place and they're not gonna get distorted if I try and change these things. And I don't even know if I explained that right or what I was explaining. But anyways, so that's the base. I think our face is already applied, yeah? So this will be our watch face over here, like so. There's not really much else to put on there, so I'll bring in my time. Also bring in the crown as well. So the crown, we can simply just copy the metal on like that. We don't really need, we're not going to have any writing and details on there, so we're not going to go through that. And I should, if it's requested, I can do an advanced tutorial on modeling a watch, and then I can go into adding in text and adding in engraved pieces and stuff on the back and really go into detail with that. But that stuff takes time, and that's the reason why I don't really want to go through that unless it's actually requested by people. So time here, we can actually, I think we'll go with gold. So we'll just copy these on like so, and then the inside cylinder as well. And then we'll bring in our, where is this thing? Face, crown, gloss, and that. Actually, not bringing the gloss yet. Like so. And this will make silver. So we can create a silver texture here. Just copy that so that we have our scaling and stuff all in the right place. And then here I'll bring in a silver texture, like so. It's fairly basic modeling, but I think I am going to go and add in some extra details and stuff, like scratches and fingerprints and stuff like that. But we were not going to make it too intense, because generally you want this to look nice and shiny, but to make it real, you need to add in those slight imperfections, but not too much that it makes the render itself look bad. Depends on what you're going for, obviously, but you know. Here we'll go and copy this onto our hours, and then we'll just replace it with the metal. We'll call this silver, and we'll call this gold. The scaling of this whole watch is completely off, but I was going off eyesight and I'm sort of rushing through it a bit, so I'll copy these onto there. And then we will do our, we'll call this, what's this thing called again? Strap. Like so. We'll do the strap next. This will be our strap as well. Bring that in. Like so. And then here we'll create a new texture. We'll call this leather. And here I'll just bring in a leather texture that I have over here. All textures I use will be from polygon.com. I was just debating myself. I was debating in my head whether I should say that or not. I feel like the thing is I get new subscribers all the time, so it's hard to tell who's actually new that's watching my videos and who's heard me say that 1,000 times now. But I said it, so bring in our normal map again, and then we'll sort of judge the scale based off that. You want to change this to cubic. And here again, we're not going to add in text engravings and stuff, so you'll go 0.1, 0.01, 0.02. Guess that looks right. So we can go copy, paste in our diffuse, and then replace the textures again so that our scale gets translated across all these channels here, like so. Glossy. Then my specular, I think I want this to be a bit more shiny, like that. So these pieces here, I'm going to be lazy and just copy this over. I'm just going to replace it there. Just make sure this is updating. Like so. And I could actually go with gold instead. I think that will look cooler. And the glass part, so I'll select this, I'll select these two, and we'll take a look at our glass. Don't think we need to do anything with our glass, just change this to cubic. There's a dark seam there, and I believe that is because the specular depth is too low. No. Let's just bring this glass up by the slightest amount and see what happens. 0, 0, 1. There we go. I think that looks better. Like that. And it could actually be, let me just reset that and see here. It could be this. So let me just go copy the radius epsilon and adjust this and see what it is. So I'll bring that down, and then here I'll go and go 0.001. There we go. So I think that's what it was. So let me go and create a new HDRI. I'll change this to visible and go for white background. Here I can turn up my highlight compensation. I can see things slightly better. For your surface imperfections, you can see that there's some weird reflections going on because our mesh is a bit incorrect. But like I said, if you want to add in your hole, you can sort of do that. This is just a whole mess. It took me a while to figure this out in my original projects, so didn't really want to dive into that. But I think the gold actually has quite enough surface imperfections here. You can see there's already some bumps and stuff happening in your normal map, so we don't need to do much for that. For the glass, however, I'm going to add in some fingerprints, but it'll be so subtle you can barely see it. And that's the whole point. We don't want the textures to look so plain that they look fake, but we also don't want it to be so noticeable that your whole your pretty render just looks messy. So I'm going to add in some fingerprints. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go fancy and add in some dirt and some scratches and stuff like that. So go and turn that to 25. Here I'll go and change my projection to box, and then my UV, probably scale that down to 0.1. Just solo the glass so that the render's a bit faster. Let's pick a nice angle as well, like there. And here I'll just move this around like that. Here I can go 0.05, something like that. Then here I'll probably go 0.1 in my power. Very, very subtle. There are only some angles you can barely notice it. There you can slightly see there's white there, and that's pretty much what we want. Just very, very slightly. And now, here I can probably go and add in some, we can add in let's add some dirt onto this thing. So I'll solo my strap, and here I'll create a mix shader, put that on there, put that at the bottom, create another diffuse material. I'm not going to go through renaming all these things, so it's going to go and do that. Here we can do fingerprints again. Once again, they will be subtle, so I'm going to go 25, UV transform 0.1, 0.05. And I can turn this power down again to 0.25. See, now it's super subtle, 0.2. And then here I can go into my node editor and add in just one more layer. And here I'll go and add like so. And then here I'll go and create, let's do dirt wipes, that one. Here I'll go and scale this down again, 0.1. Here I'll just go 0.2. Something like that. So it's very subtle, but it's there. And let's take a look at our whole project and see. It's not really much else to do. It's a very, very basic type of tutorial. So there's not much else to enhance or change because there's not a lot of detail in this model specifically. If I was going into, if this was an advanced one, we would have text here, and we'll have some screws coming out, and we'll have some text going on there, and probably text over there, and everything would be a lot more to scale, and probably add some minor scratches going in there. Also have some text on the face, but yeah, that was probably like a 5-part tutorial. That's the thing. So yeah, that's pretty much all we need to do. We don't need to go into any After Effects compositing. There's not really much to do with this unless you're creating an advertisement, but that's an advanced thing to do. So hope you guys enjoyed. That's my very basic tutorial of how to make a watch inside of Cinema 4D and Octane. Some basic modeling for you guys, and some very basic texturing as well, of how to make this thing. I don't like the way it looks because it's a bit off scale, but get the idea of the tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want me to do an advanced version or more of these modeling tutorials, I haven't been doing much modeling tutorials, then I will try to make some. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you on my next video, and goodbye.